Hello and welcome to Broken Entertainment. So today we're going to talk about Twitter's incessant need to police what you are allowed to see and what you are not allowed to see. And everybody at this point should just get off Twitter. And really any of these platforms that decide they can start censoring everything. But it's turning into all of them, so that gets kind of difficult. So, Twitter has added the sensitive media warning to Gina Carano's account to protect users from violent, hateful, or adult content. We don't need to be protected. Alright? Like, we don't have to be policed. As much as they're policing Gina Carano, they're policing you. They're saying, no, you need to be protected from this because it has ideas and thoughts that we don't like. This is where companies like Parler have spun out of, because and like a lot of things in entertainment right now, it started out where people, you're just, that's just a conspiracy theory. The censorship thing's not really happening. And admit it, just like they would say, oh, that's just a conspiracy. You don't think this isn't really happening, blah, blah, blah. But now they just outright do it, and they just say it. Well, now we're getting that with Twitter. You need to be protected, you see, because there's ideas and thoughts here. And we don't like them. So the corporate bullying that began with Disney has now come to social media. Twitter has bafflingly added a sensitive media warning to the account belonging to the former Mandalorian actress Gina Carano, claiming that it violates the site's policy on violent, hateful, or adult content. Except, if it did, you'd just ban her. As discovered over the weekend of April 3rd, users who either do not follow the actress or have chosen to have potentially sensitive material marked by the platform are now met with an alert reading caution. This profile may include potentially sensitive content when attempting to access her public timeline. Here's a picture. It's a block. It's a way of saying, don't go any farther, because you might be exposed to things. And it'll push a lot of people away because they don't know any better. They'll go, oh yeah, I don't want to see anything weird. Which is what this makes it sound like. But let's read on. According to Twitter's support page regarding their sensitive media policy, this warning is affixed to accounts which share violent, hateful, or adult content within areas that are highly visible on Twitter. Given that the actress has never posted anything that could even be remotely considered violent or adult, one can assume her account was penalized under Twitter's restrictions on hateful content, which prohibits the sharing of any logo, symbol, or image that has the intention to promote hostility against people on the basis of race, religious affiliation, disability, sexual orientation, gender identity, ethnicity, or national origin. Whew. Yet the application of this label to Carano's account appears to be disingenuous, if not an outright falsehood. At the time of the writing, the actress's feed features nothing related to hate of any kind. In fact, Time Twitter's marking the most recent posts in Carano's feed were 2 retweets, one from comedian Larry the Cable Guy, and another from retired MMA fighter Tim Kennedy, and 1 meme. Though all these posts criticize the proposed implementation of COVID-19 vaccination passports, none of them featured any hateful content. And here they are. I'm not going to go into them because we don't talk about politics. Given the sharp divide between her feed and the general accusations leveled against her by Twitter's sensitive media policy, it should come as no surprise that, as of writing, the exact content which resulted in her account being marked as sensitive remains unclear. Bizarrely, in addition to marking her account as sensitive, Twitter also restricted the display of a tweet made by the actress which shows hands of various ethnicities and genders locked in unity, marking the image as potentially sensitive content. In response to these actions being taken against her account, Carano posted a selfie, captioned it sensitive content as a way to poke fun at Twitter's dishonest accusations. We're seeing this more and more. It's deeply troubling. First of all, get off Twitter. Twitter is a hateful, awful, disgusting place that will drag you down and mire you in awfulness from day to day. It has no benefits. Anything you do on Twitter, you can do anywhere else. You can post on any number of other social media platforms. You don't need Twitter. That's just my advice. It's advice I took myself after consideration, and it has helped significantly. This kind of censorship is a significant problem in entertainment, and we're seeing it more and more, where anybody who does not espouse certain views gets labeled, ridiculed, and targeted. And now it's being done by major companies like Twitter, where they decide, nope, this might be bad, you may not like this, so we're going to label it. We're going to stick a warning on it. We're going to block you from seeing it without you taking the steps necessary to view it so that you can't be accidentally exposed. The thing is, they're saying this is for your protection. That's your first warning. When people and organizations and companies begin to say things like, we're doing this for your own good, it does not have a good outcome or a good motive. You are not a child. Or maybe you are. I don't know. Maybe you are literally a child. You could be listening to this and be actually a child. But even so, you have the right to view material of your choosing. And you have the right, and indeed the need, to be exposed to ideas outside of your normal bubble. But they've gone and made sure that can't happen with Gina Carano. And if they're going to do it to Gina Carano, they're going to do it to other people. The way they have this set up, now you can no longer see her tweets as related to anything else unless you go look for them. So they won't appear on your feed unless you follow the actress. Which means effectively they have ensured you cannot be accidentally exposed to ideas counter to the ones that they hold. That's very troubling. We've seen a lot of censorship in small doses elsewhere. YouTube flirting with getting rid of the dislike button, stuff like that. But this is significant because it shuts down your right to be exposed to ideas outside of the ones you already have. Because if you aren't, if you always surround yourself with people that think like you, okay, you're going to become an ideologue, whether you want to or not. It's the problem with Hollywood. They're surrounded by people that agree with them, and then when somebody doesn't, they're shocked. And it's like a body blow. And they don't get it. And they lash out. And they call people names. It's the same thing the SJWs creating comics have done. And then they try to tell you you need to be exposed to their ideas. Well, everybody should be exposed to ideas counter to them. And on a site like Twitter, where you should be getting random things on your feed, that should routinely happen, but it doesn't. And they've made sure of that with Gina Carano, that you have to go look for her. You will never see her on accident. Get off Twitter. That's my advice. And it's my advice to Gina Carano as well. You may think you're in this game where you post about freedom and then they react and say bad things and then you mock them and then they do something and then you post about freedom and then they react and so on. But this is damaging to your mental health. This is damaging to everybody's mental health because you get sucked in. And you kind of lose something of yourself in doing all of this. What has Twitter done for you? When I asked myself that question when I was on Twitter, I was like, you know what? Initially, I learned a lot about publishing, traditional publishing. I was in contact with agents. It was a good thing. But then all of it became political. The agents became political. I stopped seeing people talk about publishing, which was why I was there. So I realized it wasn't doing anything for me, but wasting my time. Let me put it another way. You can go on Amazon and buy Hitler's book, but you can't see Gina Carano's posts on Twitter. You know, the whole concept of the spread of ideas and the competition between ideas and thoughts is getting closed down because the people in power at these organizations have very specific viewpoints and they want you to share them. So let me know what you think in the comments. Hit the like button if you like the video. Please consider subscribing if you're not subscribed. Hit the bell for notifications, and I will see you next time.